Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm in a different setup here. I am in my living room, sitting in my mother's chair, because I really don't feel like getting up to go into my bedroom. I don't even feel like getting up and going to make me some soup, and I'm not feeling good, so I decided to stay in here. A lot of you guys have been asking me or wondering, or probably a little concerned of what my condition is. Basically, I do have a medical condition. I do have a medical condition. Um, I've had it since I was 3.5. Well, actually 2.5. And the condition is ADD and ADHD. ADD stands for attention deficit disorder, and ADHD stands for attention hyperactivity disorder. And I'm on my laptop now to kind of read to you guys and kind of tell you guys about what it is and what are the symptoms. So yeah, I got diagnosed with those two medical conditions when I was 2.5. If y'all guys can hear that, I am really sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Well, anyway, yeah, I got diagnosed with this condition since I was 2.5. I've had it for now 18 years. I know a lot of you guys saying that, oh, she doesn't look like she has it or anything. And you know what, guys? I totally agree with y'all. I actually don't feel like I have it, but I know that I have it, and I'm going to have it for all my life, and it's permanent. I'm going to have this condition permanently. It's not going to go away. It's not going to leave my body automatically. It's going to stay. Basically it's, you know, basically, to find your symptoms or whatever medical conditions that y'all may have, y'all can go to WebMD. It's a health website that y'all can go on. So I'm over here at the ADHD, known as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And I can't talk kind of loud because my mom's back there in her room sleeping. But anyway, I'm gonna read to y'all a little bit what what attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is and what attention deficit disorder is. So basically, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder stands for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, a condition with symptoms such as inhibitions, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. The symptoms differ from person to person. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder was formerly called ADD or attention deficit disorder. Both children and adults can have ADHD, but the symptoms always begin in childhood. Adults with ADHD may have trouble managing time, being organized, setting goals, and holding down a job. Basically, what that means is it's hard for me to find a job, or it's hard for me to even get one with my condition, and it's really hard for me to be organized. I always had to be reminded to keep myself organized, keep my stuff organized. And then my goals, I have a lot of problems finishing up a goal that I started, and then, I get upset when I can't finish it. And I do have trouble managing time. Like when I have to be somewhere at a certain time, I think that I have all the time in the world to just, hang out, relax, and not worry about anything. I also get really frustrated with people. Um, I get frustrated with the doctors. I get frustrated with my mom. I get frustrated with everybody when, when stuff doesn't go right. When stuff doesn't go right for me, I get frustrated. I get mad and stuff like that. Um, Basically what attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is when I do things is when I'm attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is when I get hyper. I'm really hyper when something exciting is about to happen. Like, say for example, I'm gonna see my dad in about 2 days. Not knowing if that's true or not. It could be not. But I get excited and I get into one of my hyper moods. I get happy, I get excited and stuff like that. And then attention deficit disorder is basically when I'm in one of my moods or my tantrums or whatever. I do that for attention. Um, and I do that for attention. I do that just to get attention from somebody. And I know that when I act like that, that's not helping me get attention. That's, causing a scene. And I know you guys are saying that, oh, you're too big to be having tantrums and everything, but that's what my condition is all about. When stuff doesn't go right, or if I get real mad, that's what happens. Another thing is like when you can't calm yourself down, when you feel like you want to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. I don't want to do that. I'm a very nice person. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to hurt anybody else. But with the ADD and ADHD, when you're in one of your moods, that's basically how you feel. Um, um, the treatment that you can probably get for this condition is maybe go see a doctor. I personally have been going to many, many doctors, and they're all stating that I don't need medicine for my condition, that I am capable of trying to solve it for myself. I went to a doctor. And they're telling me that I don't need medicine for my ADD or my ADHD, that I'm an adult, and they're thinking that I don't need it. But everybody says they're not with me 24/7, 7 days a week. My mother is with me 24/7, 7 days a week. So she knows what I need and what I don't need. Right now we are trying to get my Focalin. Focalin is a medication for the ADD and ADHD. It basically helps you calm yourself down, calms down your anxiety. The Prozac does the same thing too. The Prozac also helps you calm down and helps you with your anxiety. The Focalin is for your focus. I really have a hard time staying focused. I zone out. A lot of times people cannot get me out of that situation. It's hard for them to get me out of that situation when I zone out. I zone out very frequently. I basically zone out like all the time. And it's hard for them to get me out of that situation. It's hard for them to get me out of that situation. It's hard for them to ask me anything, talk to me about anything, because I am zoned out. When I am zoned out, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't care what is going on around me. is because I'm zoned out. Basically the other day, speaking of that, the other day I was at my counselor's office and I was zoned out. I didn't, and that's another trouble why I can't stay focused, is because I zone out often. I'm on my computer as I talk about all this with you guys. Next I'm going to click on number 4, living with ADHD. How do you live? So we're going to click on that. And basically it's just telling you, like, living with ADHD. What's it like, the upside of ADHD, and the executive function. It says get tips for living with ADHD, including how to navigate jobs and relationships and get more organized. Like I said, it's hard for me to stay organized, and it's hard for me to keep up with everything. So if you see that hole there, you guys, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. We're going to be moving in about a month anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, so what it's like to have ADHD. It says some people with ADHD describe it as a chronic sense of overwhelmed, or say they have no filter. Basically what that is, I guess it's saying that people with ADHD don't have sense, but to me, sometimes I do have sense. When I am in a good mood and happy and not in one of my bad moods. Then the upside of it says people with ADHD tend to have high energy levels and can hyper focus on things that interest them. That is true. I do have a lot of high energy when I am hyper, and I can get hyper focused. I can be focused on something that is very exciting and that's going to happen, and that is things that interest me. That's another part. And then the function of ADHD is asking, why does it matter to people with ADHD? It doesn't really matter if you have ADHD, because God made everyone different for a purpose. God didn't make everybody the same. God has made everybody different for a purpose. And then the ADHD in the workplace, it says ADHD can make it difficult to be effective at work. Learn ways to cope, including the importance of treatment to help maintain focus and productivity. That's how I was in school. I'm going to be honest. When I went to school, I was on medication. I was on medication when I was going to school. My grandmother called me the class clown, because when I used to not take my medicine, I acted up in school. I didn't want to do what I was supposed to do. I didn't want to do my work. I didn't want to listen to the teachers. I didn't want to do anything. And I refused to do my work. I refused to do anything I was told to do. That's when I didn't take the medicine, and that's what will happen. And there was another medicine too that the doctor put me on that would make me very, 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 very sleepy in school. When I used to go to school, they put me on a pill, and they said take this in the morning, and I took it in the morning, and I was in one class in the morning, and my teacher couldn't wake me up. I was in redirection. Redirection is for special needs kids that also have a different type of disability, and they put me in that for a behavioral purpose. And if you hear that dog, I'm sorry, I don't know why he's barking. But anyway, they put me in redirection for a behavioral purpose. I used to misbehave a lot in school. I used to not want to pay attention. So they put me in redirection. That was because I used to be redirected a lot. I've been redirected quite a bit. So they put me in there. We got these behavioral report cards called a DBRC. A DBRC is a daily behavioral report card. What that is, it's typed up onto paper, and it's basically like letting the teachers know, what this kid, like how this student is, and what they get aggressive with, and stuff like that. At school, I used to be really aggressive with students a lot. I'll get mad at a kid, and I used to get very aggressive. I used to yell at them. I would get very aggressive to the students. And so they put me on that. I was also in special education, where I had to be put in a classroom with one full-time teacher and then a special ed teacher. And if there was no special ed teacher in the room, then they would send me to redirection. So that's basically what causes that ADD and ADHD. We also we're gonna also be talking about the behavior and stuff like that. The behavior I already explained. Parenting when you have ADHD. So this can be a challenge for parents that have adults that have teen adults with ADHD and children with ADHD. There's no way to make this easier for parents that have teen adults with ADHD and that are raising them. My mother is still raising me because I am not able to live on my own. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not able to do. And my mom is raising me with ADD and ADHD. So this is another way to, parenting. It says being a good parent can be a challenge when you have ADHD, but there are all ways to make it easier. That is true. There is a lot of ways for parents to make it easier and stuff while raising a teen adult kid with ADHD and a child with ADHD. There is a lot of ways to make it easier. Usually when I'm in one of my moods and stuff doesn't go right and we're at home, I usually just go into my room and close the door and just breathe and calm myself down and telling myself I know everything's going to be okay. There's no need for me to be upset. No need for me to get mad. So that is another way that you can calm yourself down with this situation. And another issue is sleeping. I haven't been sleeping hardly for the past 3 weeks. This week would be my 3rd week since I haven't had no sleep. But I haven't been sleeping for the past 3 weeks. This will be my 3rd week. And another thing that you can get with ADD and ADHD is insomnia. Insomnia is another medical order for the ADD and the ADHD. insomnia means not being able to sleep. Um, a doctor has also told me that I do not need a pill for sleep. I don't need nothing for sleep. That I need to tough it out and sleep and try to fall asleep on my own, which I can't do that. There is no way I can do that. So they basically also diagnosed me with insomnia, and insomnia is basically means you can't sleep at all. That you have trouble sleeping, you can't stay asleep. Your body wants to make you stay awake. Your body does not want to make you sleepy and stuff. And like I said, I haven't been sleeping for the past 3 weeks. This would be my third week that I have not hardly had any sleep. Like right now, I'm not even tired, as y'all can tell. I mean, I feel tired, but my body is telling me different. That's another way. That's another thing that can tell you with. That's another thing that can happen with ADD and ADHD. And then another thing with ADD and ADHD is anxiety and stress. I stress out a lot. I stress out with a lot of people. I get stressed out with stuff that doesn't go right. My anxiety. I've had an anxiety attack before, where I had been sent to the hospital. I had a really, really bad anxiety attack where I had been sent to the emergency room. And I was at school at the time that happened, and paramedics had to send me to the emergency room. Anxiety for ADD and ADHD is when you can't calm yourself down, when you're really, really, really upset, and you're shaken, and your body feels shaky, and you don't have any like courage to do anything or anything like that. I had to be sent to the emergency room. If y'all live here in San Antonio, I was sent to Mission Trails Baptist Hospital for that condition. Basically, they did not release me until my anxiety attack went down. My blood pressure was up through the roof. It was really, 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 really high. Anxiety with ADD and ADHD can do that to you. It can make your blood pressure high. It can make your pulse very, very high. Your heart races and races and races, and it's a really scary, scary moment to be into. I was really paranoid. I was scared. I didn't know what was gonna happen. So basically, that's what it is. And then stress. I do stress out a lot. Like I said, I stress out. Things don't go right. I stress out when people don't. When people don't help me the way I want them to help me. Sorry, I have an itch. It's a really stressful thing to be through. And so we're going to go on to the next thing, which is organizations. This is like understanding of ADHD. Some people may or may not understand if you or your child has ADD and ADHD. They can tell you different, like, oh, I don't think he or she has it. There's a need for you to take her to the doctor, but you are doing best. You are doing what's best for your kid. You're doing what's best for them. And you're staying organized with them, and you're doing what's best for them. And then message board. You can also meet others who also lived with ADD and ADHD, and you can also ask them questions on what you think is best and how you can control your situation. like I said, I got diagnosed with this situation since I was 2.5. When I was 2.5, I started getting a lot of, I started throwing a lot of temper tantrums. I started throwing a lot of, I threw a lot of tantrums. I threw a lot of, stuff. And got diagnosed with ADD and ADHD. Um, Somewhere along the road, they will probably check you for autism or bipolar um, or stuff like that, to make sure the doctors are making sure that you don't have other symptoms besides of what you have, because if you have other symptoms, then a lot of that can be very stressful as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was really, really long. I want to, give you guys an update on what I have and how I go through it during the day. During the day, it depends on how my day is, and it depends on how I wake up in the morning. Basically, it depends on how I wake up in the morning, and it depends on, what mood I am when I wake up. If I wake up in a bad mood and grouchy and everything, then my mom's probably thinking, okay, today is not going to be a very good day. But if I wake up, in a good mood, happy mood, and stuff like that, then my mom's probably thinking, okay, today is going to be a good day. Like I said, it depends on how I wake up in the morning and how I am. If I'm having a good morning, then okay, then my day is going to be good. Having a bad morning, then, my day is going to probably be all stressed and frustrated. Another thing with that is frustration. ADHD is really giving me a lot of frustration. I do get frustrated a lot easily. Basically, if stuff doesn't go right or stuff like that, I do, it's very frustrating and stressed and everything. So I hope this helped y'all realize what this is. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope to see y'all in my next video.